Hello, welcome to the MCTC Anime Club. I'm Crimson Lord.
Of course, of the Green Knight, at your service.
And Shy Inuyasha.
And today we'll be revealing a movie, but this is a little different. It's a live action based on an anime. I know there's been bad raps, but this one was for once good because the topic of this one is the Black Butler live action.
And unlike most live actions, which make it so unrealistic or lose contact or do something stupid like 6 Earthbenders only just give you a small rock.
No.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I would count the live action Last Airbender as part of this group. But,
No.
I
No,
get
but
what
an
you
example of why live actions can have bad rap.
But it's understandable. Copyright issues, they can't exactly stick to the main storyline.
Or people just taking ideas and running with them incredibly stupid, like Goku going to high school.
Well, point is, despite all that, this was for once one of the rarities where the live-action adaptation was good.
Like the Warcraft movie. Or Rurouni Kenshin.
Rurouni Kenshin, get it right.
No.
So, anyway, like the typical Black Butler storylines, usually when the story starts, there's a compelling case that usually involves murder or mystery. In this case,
Or both.
right. In this case, it's the mysterious mummification of bodies that are found, and then starts off with someone going through that process. And I have to admit that was a little gory, sort of.
Yeah, it was a little gory, but it was also kind of like.
Oh, damn.
But you also get of like what caused the skin to become that state. That's where the mystery and the suspense kick in.
Basically, it's like the same situation that would happen to someone who's being drained of their blood by a vampire, only no vampire, and the blood was still inside their body, sort of.
Yep.
Think a decaying corpse. And if it isn't obvious by now, this is not a series for the faint of heart. So I'll be going then.
Get back here.
You ain't the boss of me, demon.
So I do advise, if you are 13 and under, do not watch this.
But if you do
Please.
watch it, don't watch it in a darkened room.
Yeah, don't watch it in a
Unless
dark room.
you're very, very brave. Or just want to be scared out of your mind.
But either way, the mummified bodies are the only horrifying thing in the series. Everything else is pretty tame for a mystery drama. Anyway, after these cases keep amassing, that's when the ever-loyal Queen's Guard dog comes in. And his name...
Her.
Uh,
It's a girl, remember
you
that.
just spoiled it,
You
man.
spoiled it!
It's a girl from the beginning. So let's spoil it. You literally see that in the
The
beginning.
Earl of Phantom Hive, Genpo. Although I forget his first name. What was it called?
Shiori.
Shiori Genpo.
I think it was Shirota, but...
It was Shiori Genpo.
Shioroi.
No, I meant the fake name.
Oh, the fake
Oh.
name. Oh, don't know.
Kiyoma.
Kiyoharu?
Like
Kiyoharu.
Yeah,
Kiyoharu.
Kiyoharu. There you go. Duh. How could we forget that?
She
And
pretends
yes,
to be a
I'm-
boy, these details with her family, but our main character is not CL Phantomheim. It's heavily implied it's a descendant. Almost fun
Which
to
is
say that.
Kiyoharu Genpo. And yes, not similar name, but as we said before, copyright issues.
Yes.
That or they just decided to plot-wise change up the name slightly.
But there is one character who they brought over and kept his name for him, the ever-faithful butler, Sebastian.
Sebastian.
The one hell of a butler. Again, I'm sort of think the name change isn't a copyright. I just think it was something they decided to go with. Probably to make it more obvious it's a slightly different character.
Well, I mean, sure, they had to change the main character's name, but of course they weren't going to change Sebastian's, are you kidding me?
Of course. Or Bryn's.
Well,
Didn't
actually,
matter.
no, because the actual character in the anime is Mayren, not Ren.
Right, and they brought over Tanaka, the short tea sipping guy.
Oh.
Although he's not
That's
exactly
not
short.
tea,
in
that's
this version.
lemonade.
Yeah. And
Again, I don't think it's a copyright. I think it's just something they decided to go with.
Right. But unfortunately, as far as we know, those are the only mains they brought over from the series.
Mhm.
At least the only ones they were allowed to. All the other characters are either originally are original to the story of the movie, or they're adapted from previous characters that are normally backgroundish.
Like Undertaker?
Yeah.
Yes.
He only shows up once, but we know who he is.
Yeah, we know who he is.
And at least his eyes aren't covered.
Oh, thank the Lord, his eyes weren't covered. That just in the anime version of it, it looked really creepy.
But
I
at
had
least
no
they,
idea what his eyes looked like.
but at least they still kept him mad as a hatter.
Yep. Can you not do that?
But
Sorry.
anyway, yeah. So the mummification that is being portrayed as the Devil's Curse is the main mystery. However, our Earl thinks that by following this case, he might be able to find some clues into his dark, tragic past that led him to this point. So basically, it's different, but it's still similar to what happened to CL in the anime version. Both parents are mysteriously killed, receive some kind of a mark, makes a contract with a demon. So
It's fair.
at least they
Fair,
kept that the
Steven.
same as well.
Again, because this is later in the movie, it implies that it's stated that this happens throughout the enter. Again, bring the whole. It's probably just a discernment. I'm not going to get into that.
However, we're not going to talk about the Devil's Curse entirely for fear of spoilers, but we will tell you that it's very dark and there's many twists and turns, and it'll be interesting to watch throughout the whole thing.
Yes.
Basically, what you expect from Black Butler anime, or a
Alright.
movie adaptation to get the proper term.
So, alright then, moving on from the plot, so we don't run the risk of spoilers, we'll now talk about the characters. Kiyoharu Genpo.
Or also known as Shiori Genpo, to give her actual name.
Yeah.
That doesn't show up till later in the series.
It's not that far into the movie that it'd be considered a spoiler. Like, don't get your demon parts on another. I have no idea what I just said.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Let's
No,
just,
it-
okay,
Anyway.
so, Kiyoharu, as we're going to call the main character for now,
Yes.
is the mysterious heir to the Genpo family earlship, who shows up mysteriously after the previous earl, his father, had mysteriously died. But he doesn't show up alone until he shows up with a butler and a black tailcoat named Sebastian, who seems to be by far the most capable butler I've ever seen.
Yes.
Apparently, you've never met Jacob. I wish Matt was here. He would have gotten that joke.
Anyway, Kiyoharu seems like a typical similarity to CL, the Earl of the Genpo industry, Phantom Toy Company head, and the Queen's guard dog. So all the traits that CL in the anime had seem to have been passed on to his live-action alternative, Kiyoharu Genpo.
Or, in another word, his descendant.
Even his trademark eye patch.
Although that, and the reason why they wear it is implied to be different.
Well, all Black Butler fans know why he wears the eye patch, but we get the point.
Yep, we get it.
Like, yeah, okay.
Anyway, anything else we can say about our main character that won't give spoilers?
Not really. I mean, not without spoiling
Not really, no.
part of the
Yeah,
plot.
not without spoiling it.
Moving on to the butler then, Sebastian. We all know about him, so there might not need for an explanation.
He's Sebastian. What's there's only one thing to describe about Sebastian. He is one hell of a butler.
Besides, I feel like this is a bad. I feel like the live version alternate is a. I would think. I don't know if you guys would agree with me on this or not. I feel like he's a bit more dark, so to speak, than the anime Sebastian.
And there's also the fact his hair is kind of longer.
Yeah.
Again, which might go to the example. He's an older Sebastian, possibly. His hair grew
That's up
out.
for debate.
Or it's also probably just a design thing with, again, certain live action things compared to like a comic or a manga. You're not going to get the exact same 100% look like Killmonger and Black Panther or Kingpin with Daredevil. Like the live actions, they try to get as close as you can, but you can't get a perfect example of a
Right.
comic character.
But
Or
we
manga.
can admit the actor who played him was still pretty good at matching his personality, right?
Oh, definitely. That was,
Very, very
he
well.
definitely-
Very well. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but if you saw Sebastian's eyes, I don't know if they were like a darker red or a medium red.
They kind of seemed like a golden brown sort of situation, like what they did for the Twilight cast. Sorry, but it seemed like they used the same
No,
kind of
not the
eye
Twilight
contact
cast,
prop,
not the
sort of.
Twilight cast. Anything but the Twilight cast.
No, I meant those
Oh,
eye.
the contact. things.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
contact
gotcha,
things. Yeah,
gotcha,
they changed their
gotcha.
eye coloring.
Gotcha. Okay.
Again.
Makes sense.
And they kind of did the same thing for our main character. For their right eye, it seemed to glow.
It was blue.
Again,
It
showing
was
a
like
different.
Well, it's sort
I
of
almost said a
dark
bright
purple.
blue. A bright blue.
Right.
She-
I mean, dark purple that
Bleh.
would turn to a light blue. So I'm guessing those are specially made contacts that change color depending on
Yeah.
a certain condition.
But I don't think that's a contact because it implies that she was. I'm gonna butcher the word probably. She had that condition with the multicolored eyes.
Oh, mismatched eyes like
Uh.
the late David Bowie had.
Yeah.
Was that in the actor's bio for when they were doing the movie?
I'm just saying what we
I
saw
would have
in
no
literally
idea.
the beginning of the movie. She's referred to with have mismatched eyes.
Yeah, but
I don't know if that's to the actor. I'm just saying what I saw in the movie.
right.
Don't look too much deep in what I'm saying.
Right.
Sometimes I use exact words, boy.
The point is, I think she's wearing a special contact, not during the story, but as the actor itself.
Right.
That's what I was trying to say.
I don't know. I'm just saying what we're shown in the story. So if that's
Well,
Again,
how else
I-
are they going to make those effects? I mean, they can't exactly do
know.
that at will.
again, I'm not trying to imply. I'm just showing what's for the story. It's applied to the character. All right, going off that. 'cause this is a
Moving
tangent.
on. Why don't we talk about somebody else who is widely known? Aunt, what was her name?
Hane. I
Hanai?
think that's right.
Aunt Kanai. Right.
I think that was her name. I couldn't.
I think
thought
it
you butchered
was
her name.
H-A-N-E-A-E. Yeah.
Yeah, Hane.
Right.
Hane.
Aunt Kanai. She seems like being as the only other living member of Kiyoharu's family left alive, she seems like a surrogate family member, like a sort of someone who's by his side in the situations. Because despite being 17, Kiyoharu is still just a kid right now. Sort of.
A kid who grew up too quickly.
Isn't that how it's usually portrayed in the anime as well?
Yes,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, like, our main character, while acts adult-like as she can, is the example of a kind of a cliche, a kid who grew up too quickly.
Right. But Aunt Hanai, she really seems like the sort of character that helps out our main character whenever he needs it. Be it from secret invitation gathering to other information, especially getaway cars.
Yup. Until a specific part in the movie where
Which we cannot
it
talk
happens.
anymore because that is spoilers. That for sure is spoilers.
That's why I
Right.
didn't say anything past that.
And I guess the only other character we could talk about is Mei Ying.
Mayrin?
Mayrin.
Yeah.
Mayrin? Yeah.
What else can be talked about her? She's the maid at the Genpo household, but like the Rin in the anime, she's a sort of a klutz. Has trouble seeing with those glasses on.
Well, that implies the glasses might be. I think just like with the Rin in the anime, the glasses actually hindering her, not actually helping her.
Right.
Yep.
But you can also see from both anime Rin and live action Rin
There's
at the
one
younger
part.
age
Yep. And
that
there's
she was raised to protect the main protagonist.
pretty much.
Yep. And we get to see that in probably one of the best action sequences in the movie that doesn't have anything to do with Sebastian.
And as later in the movie, she really is sort of like the Rin in the anime version, because when the glasses are off, she's a total badass.
Yes, she is. That she is.
Oh, like hell.
But unfortunately, the background of how she came to the Genpo estate is different from the anime version.
Which, again, could just imply this is a future connection to the Phantom Hive family, because as earlier mentioned in the movie, around the beginning, is the Genpo were originally the Phantom Hives. So it's possible she is just
Future, past, alternative, who cares? It's a good movie anyway.
Alright. Hey, sir!
So, the origins of how it portrays to the anime, or if it's just an adaptation that's somewhat similar but not entirely, due to copyright issues, we can just all agree that it's a good movie.
It was a good movie.
So, on to the good points. I'll
I
start.
think we've already gone past
Yeah,
that.
we pretty much already
I
said
think
the
what
good
you need
points.
to say is negatives, boy.
Alright, but what about the scenery that takes place throughout the entire movie?
Yeah, the scenery's a little different because I thought it was gonna be kind of like the anime version,
Like
but
based
it's
in England?
not.
It's actually
Like based in
Japan.
England, but it is based in Japan with
This
buildings and the cars
Yeah,
and
but
the
things-
roads.
one, I think
Yeah.
actually in this one they
But
imply.
still dressed in 18th century Victorian clothing.
Yeah, so in a way,
I'd say with that because they.
I don't know, it kind of jumps between modern to past to future in many instances. Sort of.
What I was gonna say again, because I think it is, because with the anime, correct me, it's been a while since I've seen that one. Flat out takes place in Victorian London. I think this one is more alternate Japan, which is might be why, because they mentioned East and West nation. That
Right.
didn't-
Oh yeah, Eastern
So-
and Western, right?
And
So
the
I think
Phantom
part of the
Hive-
reason is why we have such a hard time placing the time is because this isn't exactly real life, like based off real life. This is alternate history.
Right.
Right.
Right, because as mentioned in the movie, the Kenfolds were the Phantom Hives, but they migrated to the east and changed their family name.
But they still work for the Queen.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So again, it might just be like alternate, like why there's so much Victorian clothes is because this is more just based off how things happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could write it off as a branch of the Phantom Hive family that broke off and went to Japan so the Queen could spread her reach around the world.
Again,
That
that's
could be it too.
again. I feel like that might be possibly a bit of the negative.
So they
Switch gears a
don't
little-
keep the family name Phantom Hive.
Oh no, that probably actually was more makes sense because then we'd be even more confused. You remember like when we first watched this, you and me were both confused. Where's this taking place? What's going on here?
Right. Is it Japan? Is it London? Why
Yeah,
is
but
the family name Kenfo?
Yeah, I think that was just more to show that this isn't the same story as CL's, despite its
Right. Been
similarities.
said many times, copyright issues.
Or, as we pointed out, just a choice in the director, not a copyright issue. Because again, there is some very questionable uses of
Similarities.
characters'
Yes.
names if this was a copyright issue.
Right. I mean, they couldn't make it completely similar to the storyline. I mean, they had to get authorization from Funimation, as we saw in the credits.
But
I mean, the
Funimation distributed it, which I think if it was a copyright issue, then Funimation wouldn't have done that. So I
No.
think you're drawing the wrong idea here, Crimson.
No, I mean, at the end of the credits, it said
I
that-
know, I was there, man. I saw the end of the credits. I'm just saying, I think when you keep bringing up copyright issues, I think you're coming on to the wrong idea here.
See, this is why I hate it when we try to relate the movie live-action version to the actual anime it's based off of. Too much confusion, too much argument.
I'm not trying to argue, just you keep making the same point. I keep trying,
Okay,
you
can
know what I'm
we
saying.
please
Okay, back
move
up to
on?
what
Can we
was the
please
last
move
train
on?
of thought because I'm a little. 'cause
We
I
were
gotta-
going on the bad points of the series.
All right. Oh yeah, I remember. So I would say my one negative is I feel like there's too much world building and not enough focus on like so much goes on with the story, like the background information, and we don't really get a focus on that. Like that's what I meant when I brought up this is all the negative here.
So you're saying they probably spend too much time on the scenery and not enough on the plot of the story and the characters' backgrounds.
I would say more connecting the background information, like the whole east west, why exactly Phantom Hives are now Gepentos, like all that, like connect that to like
Yeah, so basically there's no focal point of the story.
yeah.
Yeah, that's also my negative too for this movie. Like there's no focal point.
Yeah,
There's so much going on. There's
I
no
mean-
main focus.
yeah. I mean, there's some parts that are pretty good, but yeah, I think there's just like still too many gaps between what happened to at the beginning and the end of the Phantom Hive to Genpo migration. I mean, all they said was just, "Oh, we're moving to Japan. Let's change our family name." That's about all we got out of it. No idea why.
Mm-hmm.
Any more comments on the movie?
Nope.
The
Alright,
sequel
should we
hook
move on to
information
story
that
then?
goes nowhere. Like the whole thing, you remember that letter I couldn't
got you.
catch, but or like the whole thing with like the
Yeah.
Snakes?
symbol.
Yeah.
Like that goes nowhere, and I feel like really isn't answered. And
Yeah, I mean,
if
there's
this
only-
was built to have a sequel, and I apologize for interrupting you, but you kind of tried to interrupt me there,
Sorry.
and I don't want to get into a tangent again with you interrupting my thoughts like that.
Yeah, but that symbol seems to be depicted all the way around. So in most places.
Again, going off that, I'm not trying to ignore what you said, so I can at least finish this thought. It feels like this was building for a sequel hook that I'm guessing we're not getting, which I'm is kind of sad because it leaves you asking questions. And if the Maze Runner series told me anything, you don't do that with your finale. Never.
Well, I mean, there's a
Never.
good point. There are some live actions that did sequels, like Attack on Titan and Rurouni Kenshin, but yeah, a sequel to the live action Black Butler, that's still up in the air.
Possibly. I mean, how long ago did this movie come out?
Oh no, we did see it at Detour.
Which was a year ago, but I think this movie existed before that.
Hold on,
Shiny-
Shiny Asher's gonna look it up.
I think Chris has the DVD on him.
the DVD, Crimson?
Alright, if you'll just give me one moment.
Crimson will go find his DVD.
Yeah, I thought it was still over there.
No.
It should be on the back.
This is the movie?
It says it came out in 2014.
Oh, so at least 4 years ago.
That was 4 years ago.
Yeah. So I think if we were going to get a sequel, it's kind of pushing the time for a sequel, but hopefully maybe, who knows, I mean, when was the last time we had a Digimon adventure? Before Try.
Right.
Yeah, so, I don't know, I would say it's pushing it, but we could still possibly get it.
But we can't forget the purpose of these live action adaptations to anime. They aren't necessarily exactly like the story, but it makes you interested as to where the story came from.
Right.
So it gets you inspired to want to watch the series version to see what it's like. What was the inspiration for the movie?
And just be glad that the inspiration is a lot more better than actually what you got in most cases. Because, example, Black Butler, this is a whole lot more. It follows more the story, and it doesn't change things and make it incredibly stupid. Like
Yeah, but I feel like they
not
spent
giving
more-
us Krillin in Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, although if I can think one more thing, it seems like they spent more of their character development. I mean, the only actor whose character was most similar to the anime version was Sebastian.
Was Sebastian,
From
yeah.
his fighting with butter knives as his main weapon to his cat fetish.
Again. God damn it. Oh, great. Now you put even a worse image in my head. God damn it.
What can I say?
Crimson.
Just like the anime, Sebastian likes cats.
He loves cats.
God, but you're just realizing how wrong when you say fetish.
Anyway, let's keep.
Besides, just that nervous quirk.
Scoring.
We gotta move on.
Scoring. All right.
Move on.
We're just gonna ignore that last thought from Crimson because how bad
All
it
right.
went.
Oh my
We'll
gosh.
start from left
right.
to right. Shiny Yasha, what's your scoring?
My scoring is, I would say 4.5 out of 5 Sebastians.
Seeing as how I've seen the movie before, I still like it, so I'm gonna choose 5 out of 5.
Okay.
When you grade 4.5 out of 5 cutteries.
Cutteries? Oh shit. Okay.
All right, so that's a total of 14
out of 15.
So at least an A.
Yep, at least an A.
Actually, no, that's a C, man. It's a C.
Do you want us to change your nickname?
me, authority.
No,
I swear to
respect
God.
my thought.
Can we change your name to Joker?
God, then I gotta get red gloves and a mask.
Well, anyway, that's it for this week's review. Join us next week for when we review a series. This time we'll be watching In Another World with My
I
Smartphone.
didn't know there was another world in my smartphone.
Either way, this is the MCTC Anime Club signing off.